I love the way that you framed that up, that it really allows us as individuals and as unique beings to unlock our strengths, our gifts, our unique talents that we've been given, and bring good into the world, and spread that. And so there's a sense of kind of purpose and fulfillment and meaning and vocation and everything you talk about. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that's where you landed on this, Andreas. Yes. That's a good place to land. Well, I've got plenty of questions, but Randy has just as many. So Randy, I'm gonna let you kick off the next question.
You know, it's interesting, Andreas. You and I have known each other for years. I certainly am familiar with your story, but I don't think I've ever heard you describe so beautifully and eloquently, you know, the journey itself and how you arrived at some of these really big answers. And I suspect, in knowing you, that you probably have the humility to say that I don't have all the answers, but I'm still seeking them. But you're closer than you were.
Yeah, I was just talking to some students this morning who asked me, well, you know, but when you write a book like this, like, it's, you know, they had some idea about this, that this was definitive. This isn't. I'm saying the reason why I'm publishing this, the reason why I'm sharing it, is because I want you to build on it. I want you to take it apart. I want this to be a part of the debate. The good and evil, in a sense, and the perfect solution for something is not here or there. It's on a continuum. It's on a movement that's constantly moving. It's like leadership itself. Is it going to be perfect? No, it's tending towards perfection. It never is. It's always becoming. And that's very important to see with these kind of things, that the journey is just like work. The journey is the goal. Like, don't work in absolutes. Like, right. Enjoy the journey and make the journey meaningful.
In one of the later chapters of the book, and I, again, so love the book, so grateful you wrote it, you talk about inspiring and motivating the next generation. So maybe to pick up a little bit on what you just said about the students you're encountering, how are students and young professionals engaging on this topic? How do they see what you're trying to teach in the book? I'm really curious how they're receiving it, but maybe more importantly, what are they doing with it?
Yeah. So I teach because of this. Somebody like John Paul II and several other people, you know, I was not a nice kid. I was not, you know, I was a military kid. I solved my problems with force, right? And so let's just say I was not a model. Don't think I went into the Swiss Guards because of my piety or faith or anything. I was a rough guy. And so for him, for example, to approach me, it reminds me of this story in the Bible of like saying, I have loved you first, right? Mm-hmm. And so for a young person to show up, and I consciously do this, I love them first. My group, my focus I have a huge auditorium. I have 230 people. I have a huge auditorium. My people are in the back row, because the front, they're going to be all set. They're going to find their mentors and the professors who focus on them. But when I was a kid, I was in the back row. I know exactly, those are my people. This is my tribe. I will reach them. Now, where you reach them, they're sitting back there because of a low self-esteem, actually, because they had bad experience. And I can identify with them because I've been there. So what I'm doing, and you're saying, how do they react? First of all, stop talking about the new generations and how they're bad and everything. They could have said this about us, Randy, right?
Right.
You know, in the 70s, 80s, they could have said it about us. So I'm not going there. I love this about my grandpa, by the way, who never went that way, who always said, and John Paul would always tell me, I can't wait to see the great things you're going to do with your life. Do you know how much confidence, you know what I mean? And yes. So I'm using this a lot with the students. And so I teach the intro class into business, first class in business as a freshman. And I show up and I say, I welcome you to the business school. As studying business, it's a bit like learning to swim. Let's get in the pool. But I'm not going to teach you how to swim on dry land. Let's get in the water. From today on, you're going to be a business owner. Let's start a business. And then every one of these 230 students starts a business. And I have the confidence first. And they're like, I don't even know where to start. I said, no, God has already given you the talents. I just need you to now look, and then the rest, and we'll find your talents. You employ these talents, and they do usually an online thing or something, but some people do physical things. I have here somebody, actually this student makes makes bow ties. I just bought this. We had the big trade show this week. And so they start 230 businesses. And all I'm really doing, Randy, is I'm giving them permission to go find their talents and other directed, right?
I love that.
And then I say, and now that you have those for the rest of the 4 years, we're going to teach you the skills to create value with your talents for others. This way, you know what you're going to study and you have a direction. And we call this class the vocation of business, because this is the calling that's built into you. We're not just physically different. We're inside different, and we're beautifully made, wonderfully made with these talents. And it's my joy to work with the students to find, to work with them, to find these talents